On today's episode of the Intimate Matters podcast, we want to look at the celebration and possible things that may or could go wrong as it pertains to your sexual and reproductive health during this festive period, and to give you tips on how you can stay safe and how you can enjoy yourself during these festivities.
This period, a lot of people will be going to the beach. And when it is dark in the beach, a lot happen. Someone might say, but the beach is open. My dear, to sit on top. Hello.
Okay.
When it is time for counseling, I say it as it is. It happens. They go to the dark area, do doggy, anyhow they want to do, and finish up. At that point, they are not with protection. So in the sexual space, we have the retailers and we have the wholesalers, as my director will always say. So the thing is that they keep on judging the retailers. Meanwhile, these wholesalers are even the ones doing the major things, package the thing. So when they want to talk, they'll judge the retailers. Hey, Ashawo, meanwhile, where did you sleep last night? No, we have brothel sex workers, we have non-brothel sex workers. And the good thing is that the brothel sex workers has been sensitized how to protect themselves. But to see the non-brothel sex workers, they'll just, in fact, if they even see 1 million to do without condom, they will do. But the sex workers, we've sensitized them well that you see your health first. So anybody that decides to do any sexual activity without protecting herself, that is the person's decision. But at least we've tried to do our part. 3 months from now, we might have a little surge.
Okay.
Surge of HIV infection, and a week to 2 weeks from now, we might be treating more STIs. So that's why we are singing this thing. Protect yourself.
It's the season of festivities, and as always, it's time to share love with your family members. And when festivities come like this, there is bound to be most likely where people come together and issues happen. Like the people will say, when people come together to rejoice, most likely things can happen that can go very wrong. So on today's episode of the Intimate Matters podcast, we want to look at the celebration and possible things that may or could go wrong as it pertains to your sexual and reproductive health during this festive period, and to give you tips on how you can stay safe and how you can enjoy yourself during these festivities. And today I have an amazing personality in the house, Nurse Cynthia Akwaowo. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for coming around. These are on part of the festivities, and we just want to jump right into it. Now, I'm going to start with saying that one thing that marks a festive period in Nigeria, Africa, and almost everywhere in the world is the fact that there is food and there is drinks. As it pertains to sexual health, what could go wrong with this as it pertains to the presence of food and drinks and possibly alcohol?
I think we'll talk about the alcohol first.
Okay.
So with alcohol, they might get high. The people taking the alcohol might get high. And something might go wrong after that, because they might want to engage in sexual activities. And that will be unplanned sexual activities. And when it is unplanned, definitely there will be no protection. And when there is no protection, they might exchange STIs and all of those.
All right. And the fact that when people take alcohol, they tend to, sometimes they lose grasp of themselves psychologically, and sometimes they're bound to make decisions that, actually think about doing. But sometimes I look at it, I don't know, 9 months from December is August, right? Do we have most children born then?
Well, I've not done that study.
So, because I want to see, maybe it could be that so many things happen in December and the result comes up in August. So now when we looking at this, aside from alcohol, other things that, looking at us, a whole lot of things get mixed into drinks, not just alcohol. So people jump into it. So sometimes people abuse a whole lot of substance. How does substance abuse come into play?
Okay, even before we get into the substance abuse, even the food, if it's someone that has planned to poison the person, not chemical poisoning, I mean drugs poisoning, harmful drugs poisoning, yes.
Okay.
Person can plan it and poison the food just to get the person to sleep and do whatsoever they want to do with that person.
Okay.
Now we got into substance abuse. Like we said, this is the festive period. everybody wants to look a certain way. They want to look like they've made it, especially if they don't hustle in their town.
Okay.
So to help conserve or make themselves look like what they think
That
it
they
should
are.
be,
Okay.
yes, they get into substance abuse and to do activities that maybe on the norm they won't even do it on their own with the right senses. They get into substance abuse, and friends too around them might be influenced to test. And from testing, imagine someone that has never taken cocaine testing for the first time.
Okay.
Of course, the highness will be overload. Unlike the other person that has been taking always, that has been taking constantly. Then because of peer pressure, you take it, get high, and do everything or anything that others get to do. So it's a lot this festive period.
Okay, so because like you said, it's a common phrase now. I'm in your town, I dare your town, and all those kind of stuff.
Yes.
So when somebody tells you that he or she is in your town, you should be careful while you're turning up, because a whole lot of things can happen and a whole lot of things can go wrong. So as somebody that you've been in the sexual and reproductive health space for a while, you know that what this season always turn up. So what are like the predominant things that people turn up, maybe during this season or after this season, as it pertains to STIs and other sexual related issues? What are the kind of things that people bring to the clinic or people show up with?
Okay, let's start from gonorrhea. That's when the symptoms really show.
Yeah, very marked in male.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's not even months after, maybe a week after they present with gonorrhea.
Okay.
For HIV, after 3 months, the symptoms, or within 3 months, depending on the person's immune system, before getting infected, they'll present with symptoms and tests and realize that, oh, this person has HIV. And maybe during counseling, you get to find out that this person engaged in a sexual behavior that exposed the person few months ago. And we have other STIs. The female presents with abnormal vaginal discharge and the rest of them. So it's a lot, like I said.
Yeah, even like this one they call the popular sweet. I don't know who gave that name, sweet. So that's syphilis, by the way, sweet. In case you're passing around the street and you hear somebody go, that person has sweet. Don't think it's because it is sweet. It's actually syphilis. So you talked about alcohol, and we know that a bulk of this thing affects people psychologically. So let's talk about communication and consent as at this point. When we look at the social media space, what we find is that by virtue of maybe stories, anonymous messages on the social media space, people feel that I feel entitled to your body if I help you or provide any form of care to you, or should I call it service to you. So if I take you out and I buy you drink, or if I take you out and the bills is on me, how does that roll into the aspect of consent and communication at this period? Because this is a period that a whole lot of people will take people out. I'm in your town, come let's step out, and the rest of the thing. So how does this play in?
Okay. So I do not think buying a bottle of Budweiser or any brand for someone I do not think it gives automatic consent to sexual acts.
Okay.
I mean, consent should be from the person, as the person should go ahead, informed consent, right? So drink is not informed consent. It should either be orally or written. Oral consent or written consent. So the other gender, or whichever gender, whether male or male, female or female and male, the other person should propose. Well, the other person accepts. Oh, if the person accepts, that is consent. Not because I bought you ipaton. So I should have sex with you.
So you're trying to say that this thing that ladies were on social media and be like, because one lady was like, did I buy food for you? The next thing is like, climb bed. You are saying that it doesn't work in this.
No, it's not supposed to be that way.
Okay. You mentioned something. I heard you mention lady with lady, man with man. You work with people like this. You work with key population, men who have sex with men. So is their cases or is their reality different from what I would call like the general population in key points at times like this? Is their reality different? Is what affects them at this festive period? Is it like the same thing that affects every other person, or it's different for them?
It's the same thing. I mean, it's still sexual activity. So anything that can be transferred from one person to the other, as far as it is a sexually transmitted disease or infection, can still be transferred, you can still pass it to the other person. And funny enough, the risk is higher with these people.
Okay.
Yes. So that is why they came up with the idea that, okay, these people at risk should be taken care of so that they will not spread it to other persons that are not at risk.
All right.
Actually, the thing is, the issue of this key population thing is something that most people do not like to talk about it. They don't like
We are here to talk
it.
about it.
If you come up with the topic, you hear mothers say, God forbid, though, not my child. But hello, it is their child. They are their sons, their husbands, their neighbors. They did not fall from the sky. So, like I used to say that our society live a pretentious life.
Okay.
Sinners judging sinners for sinning differently.
Okay.
Okay, more like the sex work space. We have male sex workers and we have female sex workers. But if you annoy a keke guy, the first thing they'll call you is ashawo. Meanwhile, that keke guy might even be coming back from his own ashawo walk last night. Hello?
Okay.
Yes. And now, in the female sex work space, they feel only those that come out to the road to look for customers are the only sex workers.
Okay.
Meanwhile, even the married women do sex work in their own matrimonial home with their husband, and for those that do it outside their matrimonial home, with their partners outside their matrimonial home.
Comrade, please explain that. Explain that part.
Okay. So, let's start this way. What is sex work? Sex work is as far as the exchange of sex for anything.
Okay, money,
goods, feelings.
Okay.
Now, if a married woman is seeking the husband's attention or wants to get something from the husband and has been asking the husband for that thing, honey, please, I need this wig, and the husband is not giving her attention, and then maybe her friend or internet gives her inspiration
like that
to decorate the room, get things done, and then the husband is back from work. She's doing serere, seducing the man, everything.
Okay.
She gives the man style that she had never given to the man. And then the man say, I want me. This one enter head well. What did you say I should buy for you? You work, abi, you no work for that thing.
You work, oh.
But you take work. Now sex, abi, no be sex.
Now sex, you
no be sex worker.
Oh, wow.
A young girl, her landlord is mounting pressure. Madam, give me my money. Oga, I no get money. Oh. The girl be using breast to serere the man. After we come to my room, the girl goes there, has sex with the landlord.
They forget the rent.
In a month, the girl, 2 months, 3 months, he work for the room, abi no work for the room.
You work for the room.
What thing you take work for the room?
Sex.
No be sex.
Okay.
So in the sex work space, we have the retailers and we have the wholesalers, as my director will always say. So the thing is that they keep on judging the retailers. Meanwhile, these wholesalers are even the ones doing the major things, package the thing. So when they want to talk, they'll judge the retailers. Hey, Ashawo, meanwhile, where did you sleep last night? No, we have brothel sex workers, we have non-brothel sex workers. And the good thing is that the brothel sex workers has been sensitized how to protect themselves. But to see the non-brothel sex workers, they'll just, in fact, if they even see 1 million to do without condom, they will do. But the sex workers, we've sensitized them well that you see, your health first. So anybody that decides to do any sexual activity without protecting herself, that is the person's decision. But at least we've tried to do our part. Then for the male sex work space, we have them either for those that are doing it with the older women or younger women for money. I know for the older women, they call them gigolos. Then we have the men that have sex with men for money. That is their work. Like my second mama will always say, sex work is one of the oldest work. It is the oldest work in this world. Right from Bible time. So it is not now that you stop it. So our work is, you've decided to do the sex work. You've decided to do this thing. Fine, do it right. Protect yourself. That should be the first thing in your head when you're doing it. Protect yourself, period. It is not in my place to come and tell you, don't do sex work. It is your hustle na hustle. Me, I'll not pay your bills. So you pay your bills. Any way if you do, put food for your table, do am. But hello, do it right.
All right.
Period.
So we're learning a lot from knowing that we have wholesale and retail sex workers. We know those that, we have the ones that work in the brothel. We have the ones that work in there's this set of people that I deliver. I don't want to mention any goods so that I won't be as if I put it to someone. I deliver nationwide, but I can sleep over. Okay, so we have them, like one of my uncles will say, they'll be like, a girl that sells sex maybe didn't go to school, is the one they call a shower. The one that sells sex and went to school, maybe has a degree, they say is a classic lady, or they look for a name and they paint it. But that's the reality. It's essential that, hook up. It's essential that whatever you're doing, we're here to tell you that you take your health very important and you stay safe as it may be. Whether you are the formal or informal, whether you're the one in the brothel, outside the brothel, you are the retailer or the wholesaler, it's important that you seek for knowledge and you know how to keep yourself safe with whatever you're doing. And that is why we bring episodes like this to you on the Intimate Matters podcast, and we teach you and we show you and we interact with you how you can keep yourself safe. You can stay safe while you're enjoying yourself and while you get involved in the sexual process. It's essential. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms. If you're just joining us, we're discussing sexual health during this festive period. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Facebook. And if you check the description, you see the link to our WhatsApp channel where you can follow us and you can discuss with us. So let's get right back into the conversation. Let's look at how does culture and societal norms affect sex during this festive period. Now, I'm saying this because I know that people who have sex and regular sex, if I could call it that way, and I'm very proud about it. Like my forefathers used to do it, is what we do. You go to some tradition, they tell you if somebody visits your house, you give your wife, right? And all those. So how does societal norms and cultural norms affect the way people express themselves sexually during this festive period?
Societal norms make people hide what they are, who they are.
Okay.
Yes. So for the society, they'll do it outside for society to see that, they are doing this thing this way, the way the society expects them to do. And behind closed doors, they are doing this how they want to do it, how they feel they should do it, how they think is right for them. Like the men who have sex with men, some of them are married. I hope you're aware of that.
Yeah, some of them.
So some of them get into marriage for the societal norm. So they can't even suspect them that. Also, they won't suspect them that they are gays, right? But behind closed doors, they have their boyfriends. They go there, do what they want to do. And maybe because, or sometimes if they do not have a space to do whatever they want to do, if they decide to do it in the car and they are not with protection, of course you can transmit. This period, a lot of people will be going to the beach. And when it is dark in the beach, a lot happen. Someone might say, but the beach is open. My dear, to sit on top. Hello.
Okay.
When it is time for counseling, I say it as it is. It happens. They'll go to the dark area, do doggy, anyhow they want to do, and finish up. At that point, they are not with protection. So the societal norm is expecting you to man and woman. Or if it's man and woman, you have to be married. Of course, that's how it's supposed to be. But these things are happening the way it is not supposed to happen. But in as much as you're doing it the way it is not supposed to be, our keyword, use protection. Now the protection, condom. Use condom. And for condom, it is use condom consistently and correctly. So that's how you even use condom and it is not even correct. That's why you be hearing things like condom boss. Condom boss, were you fighting? What really happened there?
Some people, they fight too.
So you have to use condom consistently and correctly, one. And then we have PrEP, the pre-exposure prophylaxis. So if they knew or anybody knows that this period they'll be engaging in sexual activities.
I want to do raw, but I'm not a wrestler.
Bam. They should have started taking their PrEP right from November to protect themselves, or maybe this December, depending on the kind of sex.
Okay.
For anal sex, full protection from 7 days, start taking the PrEP, get full protection. Although with PrEP only protects you from HIV. It does not protect you from any other STI.
Or pregnancy.
Or pregnancy. So, if you're not taking PrEP and you're not with condom or the Team Raw, they switch with condom,
Raw.
They should try and take PrEP. Person should try and take PrEP within 72 hours. That is post-exposure prophylaxis. That is, the person has been exposed. So, within 72 hours after exposure, person should take PrEP for 28 days and sort that out.
All right, because it's essential that people know. I think that's one of the issues we have, that when people, or should I say children, in quotes, tend to walk away from the society they grew up from, like their families, their parents, they tend to manifest, like you said, who they actually are, not actually their pretentious self. Because when we come around, like now, festive period, especially in this climate, people are going to go to religious institutions, especially for those in the Christendom. You're going to see people marching very straight and very straightforward. But as always, like you said, sexually, when they're behind closed doors, they want to express themselves the way they want. So how can we support them as healthcare workers? What are the supports we have available for people like this, or for anybody who wants to get involved in any sexual process during this festive period? What are the support structures available to them?
Okay, free condoms. So there are OSSs in different states, and government health OSS.
Okay.
That's one-stop shop.
Okay, one-stop shop. I wanted you to talk about what OSS is. Okay.
And government health facilities that they can just walk into and get condom. And I mean, if you can pay someone for sex, why can't you buy condom? So if you don't have access to that, you can buy condom and use.
All right. So, okay. And also to add to that, like some people would jokingly say on the social media space, it's Amatan, everywhere they dry. You understand? So if down there is also dry, please avoid saliva. Avoid saliva. In fact, don't allow anybody to use saliva on you. Like, if you just see somebody carry hand and go to their mouth, no, we don't support violence in this podcast. Just tell the person to gently stop using saliva. Avoid oil. So some people use olive oil. Please avoid it. Go and look for a water-based lubricant. When you go, ask water, emphasis on the water base. This is essential so that in case you're using it in collaboration with a condom, it does not break. Water-based lubricant, for those that harmattan, will not just affect their skin, but can also affect them. Affect them down there. So thank you so much, because you talked about the fact that government are there to provide some of these facilities. But let me ask, away from government, because we like to put this thing on government, what can we do? We as health professionals individually, and also people who may not be health professionals, what can they do to support people as it pertains to their sexual and reproductive health during this festive period?
For me, what I can do to support, I will not tell the person not to have sex. I mean, anybody, any human being above 18 years,
which is the age of consent in this country,
and is in the right mental state, 2, and is not being coerced or forced into sexual activity. My part as a healthcare worker is to tell you how to protect yourself.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
you've decided to do this thing.
Okay.
Just do it right.
All right.
Period.
Okay. So they say if you've decided to do this thing, the only thing we can say is that go out there and ensure that you do it right. So let's talk about because people don't realize this, that they just think, some people say sex is sex, but we know that even looking at the body, the way the whole mechanism of erection and the whole sexual process goes, it affects the psyche. So what are the mental health considerations for people having sex during this period, getting themselves involved in one? sexual activity or not, because it's not everybody that will penetrate in quote. Some people just want to do only the tip and the rest. So what are mental health considerations for them?
One, it depends on the reason or the factor of that sex. Now, for those that are doing it with, I just got back.
Okay.
With team, I just got back.
Yeah, I
I
just
will
got into
soon
your
marry
town.
you.
Yeah.
Of course, they're doing it out of emotion. And maybe January 1st week, person now tells you, I'm sorry that you were gullible. I did not have plans to marry. Of course, at that point, the heart to be broken and ill emotions will flow.
Yeah, and WhatsApp status will flow. Men are scum, women are scum.
Exactly. And even for those that did not just get back within the town and they feel this is the period to penetrate gullible people and get what they want, they'll still feel heartbroken. And like I said, the OSS in different states, they have mental health programming in the program. They have mental health in the program. And so they have psychologists. So if anybody is heartbroken from your festive activity, they can kindly visit the OSS.
Okay.
Or they can even go to the government health facility and they'll refer them or invite the psychologist. And the service is free of charge. They'll talk to the person about whatever situation they are going through.
All right. And on the flip side, if you know you want to have sex for money, don't disguise it under love or emotions. Because it will be disappointing that you came to this thing for the money out of it. And you went and came, maybe you saw this person, you think this person can fund your bills. This is what you want to do to get it. And you want to come and claim love or relationship. Because I feel heartbreak comes from when your expectations are not met.
Yes.
So if your expectations were money and it's only the emotional needs that, because I see some guys come to me and be like, the lady I carried, the sex worker I carried is now doing wife duty. I beg go. I don't want wife duty. I don't want a relationship. I just wanted sex. So on the flip side, if it's money you want, state it clearly. If it's the emotional aspect you're doing this for, state it clearly. And it's essential that you as the other person, if you know that what is offered or what is being asked for is not what you want, you can clearly just tell the person that both of us are not compatible so that we can move forward to the next person. And you find somebody that is compatible with you. So thank you so much, I know, Cynthia, for coming to share from your wealth of your experience. Do you have any personal story? I know you've been around at this period. Have you ever seen, do you have any personal story for anyone over the years of working in the OSS? Periods like this, people coming off, turning up with something.
What I know is that 3 months from now, we might have a little surge.
Okay.
Surge of HIV infection. And a week to 2 weeks from now, we might be treating more STIs. So that's why we are singing this thing. Protect yourself.
All right.
Yes.
So this is something that has been experienced over time, that people are bound to be very reckless during this festivity. Now, they say 3 months from now, because oftentimes, based on your immune system, that's when people start to feel these symptoms that they may have contracted the HIV virus. And 2 weeks is, sometimes it's not even up to 2 weeks. STI, depends on the STI.
Yeah, it depends on the STI.
STI symptoms will show forth. So this is an important time for you to take your sexual health very serious. This is a time that you might come around as part of what you do for your sexual health. This may be a time for you to vaccinate yourself if the health facilities are still open. Vaccinate yourself. Go get that vaccination that you haven't got to. Go around health facilities, sit down, listen to the health talk, listen to talks on sexual and reproductive health. Listen to podcasts like this. Share it with your friends, share it with your families, and you can live healthy and, enjoy yourself. So thank you so much, Cynthia Akwaowo, for coming today. Do you have any final words for our viewers back at home?
What I can say is abstinence is key. So if you can abstain, well done. You can pass this period. You can do it, my dear. It's just how many weeks left? Is it 2 or
2 or 3 weeks?
So you can do it. So just try. Abstinence is key. But if you cannot abstain, condom, very important.
All right. So abstinence, as always. The B part, be faithful to a mutually faithful partner. I know that is hard to, ascertain, because you can be faithful, but the person you are with, you cannot really say for sure if the person is faithful. So we jump to the C. Correct and consistent condom use is very, very essential. So thank you today for joining us on today's episode of the Intimate Matters podcast. We're discussing how you can stay safe sexually during this festive period. I'll always quote it, like my people will say, let me interpret it. A food that is sweet oftentimes comes with its trouble. So it's essential that this festive period is awesome. People get to meet their friends and have a good time. But there may be a problem lurking around the corner when it comes to your sexual and reproductive health. So we at the Intimate Matters podcast believe that your intimacy matters. So we bring this conversation so that you can learn how you can stay safe, not just for yourself, but also for your family members and for your loved ones. Because there will be more festive period. Stay safe in this festive period so that you enjoy other festive period. My name is Akwaowo Akpan, and I am the one that anchors this session. And for today, we say thank you for joining us. Do well to share, do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and even join our WhatsApp community. I'll be glad to interact with you until we come your way next time. This is bye for now.